Mistakes were made. Justin finally realizing marrying Hailey was a major mistake. What? Like, this is something so exclusive. Hello guys, welcome back once again to our channel HereLuxLife, and today we will dive into this video to know exactly what Justin has realized. Without further ado, let's dive in. After leaping for many years, Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin stunned many. Justin and Hailey were 24 and 21 years old at the time, respectively. This presumption was based on the fact that the affirmative sector of the population thought they were too young to participate. On the other hand, others' reviews are no longer counted by her because she is planned to marry on September 30th, 2019. Given that their wedding was less than a year away, they were as fat as thieves. Indeed, some of this is due to recent opportunities and how they have pulled everyone closer or further apart from their peers. But Justin and Hailey are unique in that they're well-known people who could grow up together and marry at the same time. Marriage has not been an easy road for them thus far. And there are now speculations that the two are improving their attitudes toward themselves and others as their marriage progresses. Many people believe that they were too naive to make such a major life decision. The fresh disclosures at this stage are undoubtedly even more shocking in terms of whether they can win as a relationship in the long run. Remember that Justin and Hailey Bieber do what many newlyweds do. So, what was the major stumbling block in their marriage, and how would young couples overcome it? As soon as Hailey married, she felt a sense of responsibility. Hailey opened up about her hardships in the early months of her marriage to Justin in an interview with Natalie Manueli on her Hillsong channel. During her first few months, she claimed she had repeated her earlier errors and made dreadful decisions. When she started a new life with Justin, the failure of their first relationship troubled her and even diminished her experience. Hailey claims that because she grew up in a Christian household, she wanted to be a perfect girl. Her sentiments of guilt arose as a result of this. That's because her inner monologue was programmed to constantly blame her for her poor decisions and misfortunes. Hailey's effort to become the last shoemaker proved to be impractical in the long term. She realized that adhering to such a stringent code of ethics was no longer feasible. We all hope that our paths have diverged significantly from theirs and that we have avoided making catastrophic judgments and blunders as a result. However, Hailey's marriage taught her that each of her bad mistakes and misfortunes eventually led to her triumphant day. She is Justin Bieber's wife, a position she values highly. Hailey stated that she does not represent you in any way because we are all changing as beings daily. What she was in the previous 12 months should have no bearing on who she is now, and it stays the same even if she isn't always married. Hailey compares getting married to diving off the Grand Canyon. Hailey maintains the solemnity of her marriage and its soft consequences in the same interview. She argued that, as we all know, marriage should not be taken lightly. It's no longer a story from a comic book, but a regular fight. One of the most difficult fights she has to fight in marriage is her humiliation when she remembers them, and these things tend to blow out while you're in a brand new ad looking for a nice partner for your spouse. Hailey was able to better deal with her mistakes thanks to her and Justin's passion for Christianity. Hailey in particular discovered that serving God was not merely a matter of putting on a show for others. As a result, it's tough to avoid tinkering with the regrets, and regrets accumulated through time. The lottery happened within the first 7 months of Hailey's marriage, she said. Justin's condition, for example, caused several couples to face difficulties, but her faith guided Hailey. Her God, she knew, would never play a role that didn't need her to accomplish her job. Hailey had to find a way to restrict herself from going too much beyond her anguish and simply admire how she turned out because her obligations were so tight. Hailey's marriage proved to be challenging. Everything was new to them, and they claimed to have never worked so hard in a courtroom before. She admitted that it felt strange at first, but realizing that this was going to be the person she wanted to be helped her accept the situation. People jointly adapt and evolved after marriage, no longer as individuals but as partners. All newlyweds have hardships, and Justin and Hailey are no exception. Justin had to set up camp for his wedding. As a result of his marriage, Hailey has gained insights that will affect her life, and therefore it may not always be the most useful in advertising. Justin, who had a complete promotional disability, also stated that he would change everything if he could go back in time. He got here to learn that extraterrestrial relationships have complicated matters even further and are no longer beneficial to his spiritual nation. When you're sexually active with someone, sex might be a little complicated. We visited the location. That is correct, he confessed. Justin speaks openly about his own experience, which is not always representative of everyone. However, returning to this type of insight takes maturity, especially in workplaces where males are expected to behave dangerously. When Hailey heard her husband's statements, she came to the same conclusion. I accept the fact that being physically close to someone might complicate things, she admitted. Relationship insights are prevalent, but they should be included in your presentation. When Hailey married Justin, she had to weigh in on several factors. When you're exploring a new courtship, you're not only observing individuals from a unique perspective, but you're also observing yourself through a unique lens. We'll likely all have some responsibility for what happens in the hereafter. Everyone makes errors, but there is a limit to how far we should push ourselves to feel guilty. Hailey regarded religion as a way to get through terrible times and insufferable guilt and shame. The concept can be found elsewhere, but it does not represent the truth. In the afterlife, we are no longer the same people. Our lives have more resources than the tragedies and choices we have made in the hereafter. Therefore, there is typically room for progress. Selena Gomez startled her adoring fans when she debuted her new song Lose You to Love Me, which was inspired by a commercial featuring her ex-boyfriend Justin Bieber. While the two were on and off over the years, many fans assumed that even after he married Hailey Bieber, the younger pop star still had feelings for his ex-girlfriend. She realized that adhering to such a stringent code of ethics was no longer feasible. We all hope that our paths have diverged significantly from theirs and that we have avoided making catastrophic judgments and blunders as a result. Of course, Justin and Hailey have heard Selena's new song, an insider told E! And they're both looking to no longer provide any response to her lyrics addressing Justin. It's not ideal for Hailey, but she understands Justin's unique songwriting style, and he went above and beyond. They insisted on saying Justin has completely moved on from that period of his life, and he understands that Selena is free to reflect in her own way in the afterlife. Justin and Hailey both want Selena to be happy and in a good place, and they're not afraid to use it. Realizations that emerge during a fresh courtship are all too common. Justin and Hailey's courtship demonstrates that they have the foresight to see beyond themselves and aid others in the most pleasant way possible. They are not less motivated to address these challenges just because they are young. We typically have the means to cope with our heart inner conditions, and we need to be conscious that these discoveries should come from the bottom of our hearts as we are more aware of our emotions. I've done so, and we're going to do everything we can to deal with them. On Tuesday, March 26, Justin Bieber claimed to have sent a screenshot of the troll to Hailey Stanley Wan, a 26-year-old man who expressed his love for Gomez. In order to renew, why do we need to give our entire existence to a married person? I sincerely thanked Selena and adored her. The musician born in Canada added, she can typically keep the realm in my heart, referring to his ex-girlfriend. Yes, I am. It's the most wonderful thing that has ever occurred to me. So, that is all about the video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until the next video, stay tuned and subscribe for more.